In the last class, we had a masterclass session on data engineering. We were able to understand what exactly is a data engineering and what is our role. In that, we have decided about the roadmap. As I've told you, SQL is something which you can be part of any course in any batches, so that you can keep it as another subject. Now we are starting with Python. So this Python will go for 25 hours. So when I say 25 hours, it's like 25% of your data engineering course. The total duration of this entire data engineering will be 100 days. So in that, we are having Python now. So we'll be having from Python. So this is where we are now. So it will be around 20 classes and it will go up to 25 hours. Okay. So we're going to learn about the programming language. Now, for learning this Python, from today, we'll be learning Python and we'll see what we can do with Python. What are the things we can do? All this we will see. And post that, we'll go with the data warehousing, big data. So all this will continue. Okay. And as I've told you, SQL, you can go with the recordings in the same batch. People have completed SQL. If you want, you can go back to the recordings or you can join any batch. You can join any course for SQL. It's something which is flexible. Okay. If you want to join, if you want to join any company, the first skill they'll always expect is SQL. So SQL, we have made an open course for anyone. Anyone can go back and get that. So let's get into the Python. Now, first thing everyone is fear about is programming. Will I learn it? Will I be able to learn it? Will I be able to get it? I am coming from a non-coding background. I come from a BCom, BSc. Will I understand? Right? So that's the first question you people will have. Will I be able to learn Python? Well, everything we are going to learn from ABCD. You take any skill, everything we are going to learn from ABCD. So right from Python also, right from the beginning, we'll see everything from scratch. Everything from scratch. So you just need to listen in the class. You just need to practice. If you do these two things, any skill is possible. Any skill is possible. Okay. Now, just trying to ask you why they have kept a snake name to a technology. Anyone? Python. I know it's a snake, but why have they kept to a language? Any guess? Any guess?
Maybe it is flexible.
Flexible. Is snake flexible?
Uh, yeah, it's go like waves, like, right?
Okay. Good guess. See, most powerful animal is I would have said lion, or I would have said the biggest animal is elephant. You could have get elephant. You could have named it as lion. Why python?
Because it's a wrapper.
Wrapper?
You can wrap it wraps around other
There are a lot of other animals
animals.
also which is more flexible, no? See,
Which
there is a
can
lion, there is a tiger, there is a cheetah, there is a number of animals. Why only python? What is the background? Have you ever thought about it?
This has big stomach,
it,
like so Python can store many things.
It has big
small
stomach.
size
Okay.
that can fit
So
into any.
someone is saying it has a very big stomach. Is it big than elephant stomach? Is it big than elephant stomach? One thing I have observed in geography channel is it can eat one human also. That I have observed. Okay, it looks like small, but it can eat any animal. Okay, if it can eat even a one complete human body also, it can eat. That I have observed. Apart from that, I don't see anything in it. It cannot run as fast as cheetah. It is not as big as elephant. It is not as smart as lion. I don't think so. If you're thinking just because it can eat any another animal or it can eat a human body, just because of that, if that is why it is called Python, that's not the right. There is a story behind why they have named this as Python. Okay, there is a story behind why there is a story behind why they have named it as Python. Okay, it's not like what we think as like it's a snake, it's an animal, it can eat something. No, it's not like that. Let's see what it is. To start with, we are going to focus on what is Python and why it is needed. There are n number of other languages. Why are we learning Python? Okay, we have Java is there, we have .NET is there, we have C# is there, C++ is there, lot of technology, lot of languages are there. Then why are we only focusing on Python? That's the first thing. So once we learn about Python, the next step is it's all about practicing. So for that we need a software. So today we will be seeing about the Python. Okay, if time permits, we will also see how to install our Python environment, so that from coming to the next class, you can have your environment ready. And as I said, every technology what we are going to learn from ABCD. So basic commands means we'll start with ABCD. Okay. Now, if you people are thinking what is the prerequisites to learn Python or any programming language, okay, if you're thinking, okay, if I want to learn Python, what background I need to have, what are the skills I need to have, if that is what is it hovering in your mind, let me tell you, you need not come from a coding background, you need not have done computer science in your education, nothing. The only prerequisite will be you need to understand English. If you understand English, you can code in Python. The only person who will not understand Python is those who don't understand English. Those people will not understand Python. Am I setting the context here? Okay, if you're thinking, will I understand? If that is a question mark in your head, let me tell you, whoever understands English, they'll be understanding Python. Whoever don't understand English, they will not understand Python. It's as simple as writing in English. The syntax as well as the coding that you go and write, it is as simple as like what you write in English. Okay. Now, let's get started. We say that Python is a general purpose high level programming. The first line itself, it says as Python is a general purpose high level programming. Now, what is this? This is the first time I'm listening. What is high level? What is low level? Nothing I know, right? So let's get back in detail. You have two set of programs here. Okay, you have two set of programs. One is called high level program and one is called low level program. I said that you just need to know English, right? You just need to know English. With just knowing English, by reading like an English statements, can you tell me what this piece of code is doing? Any guess? Don't think about all the syntax, logic and all. Just by reading like an English and by reading like a newspaper, tell me what this piece of code is doing.
The high level programming is adding
Summarizing the result.
summing to numbers. Yes.
Very good. We don't know anything about programming, right? We're all new here. We don't know anything. We don't know even ABCD in Python, but still by looking at this program, you can understand what we are doing. Anyone can understand. Even if you bring a 5th standard, 6th standard student here, even they can understand what it is doing, right? It's as simple as that. We are adding two numbers. Okay, we're adding two numbers, right? Because it says that here you can see that it's add symbol is there, and you can see the name of the function itself. You can say add numbers. It's actually neat and clean in understanding it. Okay. Now the same question I'll ask you. Can you tell me? Can you go through this and tell me what it is doing? Is it easy to understand?
Same concept, adding two numbers.
Is it easy to understand?
Yes.
No. The first number,
No.
second number, we can understand that one. Otherwise, no.
Well, straight away I'm giving you the information here. Something which is human readable is called high level language. Something which we are not aware of what is happening, but it is understood by the system, we call it as low level language. See, high level programming language, even I will understand, system will understand. But low level programming language, I am not getting what they have written, and only the computer understands. So in general, something by seeing itself, you'll get to know what it is happening. Whether you know programming or you don't know programming, that is all secondary. By seeing the code itself, I'll get to know what it is happening. I can guess and I can figure out what logic they have implemented. This is called high level programming language. And welcome to Python. Python is a high level programming language. So when I say high level programming language, it will be very simple. The code will be human readable. That is why I told you, if you want to learn Python, you have to know English. You have to know English. If you know English, your Python is easy. Okay. Now I have no habit of remembering all the history. The weakest subject for me is history, geography only. But still, in terms of technology, let's see who has introduced this. There was a person called Guido van Rossum, who is a father of Python. Okay, he was a person who was working to develop this Python language, and Python was introduced in 1989. Anyone from 1989 born? Anyone from 1989 born? For sure, someone should be there. We have 76 people. Anyone from 1989, 1990? I can simply say that your
81.
age, yeah,
90.
your age and Python age is same, almost same. Okay, if you are from 1989, 1990 or 1991, your age and Python age are almost same. Okay, so Python was introduced in 1989. I would say it's almost like 35 years old. It is like 35 years old. Okay, and if you people are thinking Python is actually coming from a snake name, you would have seen in the first slide. In the first slide itself, you would have seen a snake, but it's not coming from a snake name. Your Python is actually coming with a popular show name called the Complete Monty Python Circus. So there was a program, there was a popular show. From there only they have taken as a Python. Okay, maybe these guys like that show, it seems, and that is why they've kept it as Python, but there is nothing to do with the Python snake. There is nothing to do with animals here. Okay, just to create that curiosity to understand why they have named Python, I asked that question in the start. But let's agree the fact that the name is actually coming from a popular show, and from them they have taken this Python as a name. Okay. Now, okay, it's a high level programming language. Okay, someone else has created this in 1989. Okay, 35 years old. Okay, it comes from a name from a popular show. Okay, now what is this dynamically typed programming? Okay, what is this dynamically typed programming? What is this? It's all some technical words. Let's go and understand what is this dynamically typed programming. Now, in order to explain the dynamic type programming, let me show you an example. Okay, let's go in order itself. Now, you see a program here. Okay, the program is very simple. Someone is coming to your home and you have to wish them. It could be a good morning or it could be a hello world. You have to wish them. And I have simply compared two best programming languages, Java versus Python. In Java, it's actually saying I have to write class bracket. I don't know what is this class. Then again, what is this public static void main string? What is this? I don't know. And what is this system? I don't know. What is this brackets? I don't know. For writing a simple hello world, I don't know why you have opened two brackets, why you have closed two brackets, and I don't know what you have written here. It's very hard for me to understand what exactly is this code. It's very hard for me to understand this code, right? Simply they're asking a hello world. For hello world, I have written almost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines of code. 5 lines of code for writing a simple hello world. Please don't write anything on the screen. Okay. Now you can see here for just printing the hello world, 5 lines of code and 4 brackets. And to write the same hello world in Python, it's so difficult to write. Now that's the difference between Java and Python for you. You need not need any method. You need not need any class, nothing. Directly we can go and write Python. Now that's the advantage for us. Okay. Now you should be knowing how easy it is to write the Python code. Correct? Now let's go in order. As I told you, there are n number of languages available. Why we are choosing only Python for data engineering? Okay. Why we are choosing only Python for data engineering? That's a question number one. Here, there is something called large community. See, when I say large community, already there are a lot of experts in this market who they have solved every set of problem. In case if you're stuck somewhere, you can always go and get the solution from them. When I say it as a large community, example, I don't know how to read one full line. In that case, you can go and ask this question. Lot of people would have already answered. Okay, I don't know how to convert a notebook. You can ask a question, they'll give the answers. For every use case you have, someone would have already solved it. Someone would have already solved it, and that is why we use it. The main reason why we are using Python for data engineering is because of the larger community. Any issues, any challenges, you simply go and ask the community. They would have already solved all of the questions, and you can use it for your business. You can use it for your projects. As simple as that. So that's the first reason. The second reason is easy syntax. Very easy syntax. Nowadays, coding is there for kids also. Coding for kids, it seems. Okay, recently I've seen the advertisement. For your kid, if you want to teach coding, and there is one YouTube guy, I don't remember his name, okay? He's a kid actually, he's teaching coding. Have you seen that channel?
Yeah,
That Whitehead Junior,
What is that?
Whitehead Junior, something they used to give ads.
Yeah, a kid is teaching Python, right? Then you should know how complex it is, right? Very easy. Anyone can learn. Anyone can learn. Whatever I'm teaching, even if you teach it to your kids also, who is 5th standard or 6th standard guys, even they will understand. Such an easy programming language. Okay. So it's very easy to use. That is why I've shown you a comparison between a Java and Python. I have shown you here. Okay. So this is one reason. The third reason I would say is, let's still compare with Java and Python. The main difference between Java and Python is it's actually a static type programming, and this is called a dynamic type programming. Now let's see what is a static type programming, what is this dynamic type programming. If you want to use any variable, like if you want to use an integer, if you want to use a string, you're using something like, let's say, data engineer, Python 6, 7, like this, you're using any of the values. That value has to be first initialized. Without initialize, it will not work in Java. Before storing something, you need to tell what you're storing. Before storing, you need to tell what you're storing. Here I'm storing data in the A variable. I'm storing 6 in the B variable. But that doesn't happen just like that. If you want to store in the A value, if you want to store in the B value, you need to tell them first what type of data I'm trying to get here. Whether I'm going to get a string value, whether I'm going to get a int value, integer value, you need to tell them. So this is called static type programming. That means you have to define first itself. But you know what Python says? Arey yaar, you give me whatever you want, I will store it. You give me string, you give me integer, you give me float, you give me whatever you want. You don't even tell me what you're storing. I will accept. You don't tell me, not required. You don't tell me it's a string. You don't tell me it's a number. You don't tell me. You give anything, I will take it and I will store it in my variables. Now that's a dynamically typed programming. You need not define any data type here. Directly you can go and assign. That is why this is called dynamically typed programming. On the runtime itself, you can go and use it directly. No need to mention any data type as such. Okay. Now, in terms of the applications, see, even today, let's agree the fact that Java is a evergreen. Okay, let's agree the fact that Java is a evergreen. But still, when we compared with the other languages, there is some pros and cons. Even today, a lot of companies actually preferring web applications, enterprise applications, all these applications they are building in Java. Okay, like your ICICI website, your IRCTC website, your Redbus website, or you take any web application, all of this are still being built by Java. Okay, so we are all using Java even today. But when it comes to a Python can also be used by web application, desktop application, scripting, and you can do everything. But I would say it may not be that effective like your Java. One of the best player in Indian team is Virat Kohli. One of the another best player is Jasprit Bumrah. Both are two pillars of Indian team, right? So one is Virat Kohli and one is Jasprit Bumrah. If you ask the Jasprit Bumrah to hit one ball six, is it possible? No. If you ask Virat Kohli to take one ball, one wicket, is it possible? No. Both are strong in their own skill. Virat Kohli is a batting star. Bumrah is a bowling star. Similarly, when I compare, Java is always best in its own features. Python is always good in its own features. If you want to ask, see, I'm not saying Virat Kohli cannot take wickets or Jasprit Bumrah cannot hit six. Both can do it, but not that effectively. Similarly, for a web application, this always holds a upper hand. Let's understand the fact that even though we are discussing about Python, we need to understand the fact that Java is still preferred one of the evergreen language which we use it for building web application and enterprise application. But here, okay, not best, but I can build. But these are all good for Python is very good for data science, machine learning, and data engineering. For all this, these are all the best. But if I say take a data science here, it's not that up to the mark. As I said, two different phases. So one is good for one is good for one. But here, have you joined this course to build a web application? No. Have you joined this course to build a desktop application? No. Then why are we worrying about Java? Let's switch on to, even though this is not okay, this is not effective, but fine, because we are here to use it with the data-driven technologies. And that is the one reason we will be opting for Python. That is the one reason why we'll be using for Python. Our main goal is to build the data engineering pipelines. I want to pull the data from different data sources. For that purpose, I would say Python is the best for me. So whichever is best, I will use it. Okay, on the World Cup final, 16th over, Rohit Sharma gave the ball to Jasprit Bumrah. You could have given to Virat Kohli. Why? Depends on the situation, we are choosing it. Similarly, for our situation now, we have to build a data science or a data engineering pipelines. For that. Undoubtedly, without any doubt, we can always go with Python. Okay, so that's the third reason. Now, the another good thing about Python is, Python is not like a single programming. It uses lot of other features. Okay, it uses lot of other features. For example, let's say, personally, if you take me, right, I'll start learning from everyone. Okay, if I see one person, okay, that person should be my inspiration. Now, if I see another person, what qualities I can learn from them, I'll learn. So I'll see another person, what qualities I can learn. I may not be equal to them, but I'll see what are the qualities I can learn from them. That's the same feature your Python has. You know what Python does? Python knows what exactly each programming function is like what why C is famous for, why Java is famous for, right? Why scripting language is famous for. So this Python is actually taking the features from everyone else. I would say this knows everything. Python knows everything, right from building models, right from building your websites. Even you can build your mobile application. What you have in your mobile app, right? Even that you can build. Everything it can do, but not anything to the best. Like a all-rounder. If you say Ravindra Jadeja, even bowls, even bats, right? But not best to the extent. But here, it can do everything. But one thing which is very famous for Python is any data-driven work if you want to do, I would say it can do everything, It can do everything. But most importantly, this is used for data related usage. If you want to build a pipelines, if you want to do some analysis, then we can choose Python. Let's not think about what C is doing, what Java is doing, what your modular function is doing, what's your Perl is doing, what shell is doing. All these are programming languages. Let's not think too much about it. And here you're not going to learn all this, but let's agree the fact that Python can do everything. But specifically, we are focusing on certain things, which is Python is always best. Okay. Now, another thing why people use Python is it's an open source. Anyone can start using the libraries. Anyone can start using the code that was been already written by someone else, and your work is very, very easy. Okay. See, let me tell you one thing. Data engineering is like a climbing a Mount Everest. I repeat, data engineering is like a climbing Mount Everest. Do you all know what is Mount Everest? Where it is?
Nepal.
Nepal.
What is Mount Everest?
It's the highest peak in the world. Highest peak in the world.
Highest peak in the world. Mount Everest, the highest peak in the world. Your data engineering is like that. Okay, it's like that. When you want to go to a Mount Everest, you try to be as free as possible. You cannot take 4 to 5 bags. You cannot put all your like full effective. I mean, you cannot carry luggages, right? You cannot do that. You want to go as free as possible if you're climbing a Mount Everest. You need not take a lot of backpacks. You don't want to carry a lot of heavy things. You have to climb. If you want to climb a Mount Everest, you have to keep it as simple as possible. Now that's what even we are telling. For data engineering is like a Mount Everest. If you want to go to the Mount Everest, you keep it simple. Try to use the others code. Use this easy syntax. Why are you going with Java? We can go with Python. It's easy for us, right? And it's open source. When I say open source, a lot of people have already written the code and it is available for us. We just need to go and what else you need, right? What else you need? With that, we also have rich libraries. We also have a very rich libraries. Any code you want, any logic you want, already there are certain libraries which is giving to you. You simply need to know how you are using it. The one of the main reason why we go with Python is this Python has lot of libraries, and in the libraries you will have all the functionality. You just need to know which function to use for your purpose. That's it. Everything is available. Everything is available. It's like a buffet system. You go to a buffet system, everything is available. What you like, you eat. Similarly, all the functions are available for you. What you want, you take it. That's the one reason why we are using Python. And in terms of job opportunities also, when compared to all the programming languages, we have seen that Python has picked up the job opportunities. Because we can do everything, right? We can do everything. When everything can be done with a limited code and a simple usage, why don't we use this? So in terms of job opportunities also, Python always holds the upper hand. And one last difference I would like to tell you is your Python is platform independent. When I say platform independent, you can install in your Windows machine, you can install in your Mac machine, you can install in any machine, you can even install in your phone also. Okay, you can even install in your phone also. This is called platform independent. So Java, there is some problem. Okay, you cannot install in all the machines. You'll get some compatibility issues, you'll get some library issues. But here, Python, you can install anywhere, any system you want, you can. So all these features is making me as a first choice to go with Python. Okay, so large community, job opportunities, platform independent, easy syntax, rich libraries, and open source. All this making me to learn this programming language for my purpose. What's my purpose? My purpose is climbing a Mount Everest. Here, My purpose is to learn the data engineering. In order to do that, the programming language that we are going to choose will be Python. Okay. And if you see the complete summary of what we have seen, the features of programming language, that is a Python programming language. First of all, it is very easy. It is very easy. And I mean, it is free. It is free in the sense you can get it installed in any system and very easy to learn. You just need to know English. And we know that it's a high level language. When I say high level language, it's completely readable, can be installed in any machine. It has lot of memory so that it can manage well, and libraries, and you can also have the exception handling, and it is a open source. We can get it. Any piece of code is accessible at any point of time. I would say all these features is making my Python as a first preference in order to use our data engineering pipelines. Okay, so with that, what we can do everything. Okay, we can do everything. You can build your scientific and numeric calculation, software development, you can do console based games, you can build desktop application, you can build web processing, web application, image processing, enterprise, all this we can do. But we are mainly going to build for data analytics, data science, data engineering. We'll be mainly working with Python on the our need. See, Python is a ocean. Okay, if I want to keep on teaching the Python, I have to take at least 5 years, but I'll be completing only in 25 hours. You may ask me how. As I said, we will focus only on what is needed for us. Okay, there is a full of ocean. That doesn't mean that you can roam around the ocean. Somewhere in the corner, wherever you are, you can use the ocean water, right? Similarly, what is our need? Only for that purpose we are going to use. You have not joined this course to build a web application. You have not joined this course to build a enterprise application. You have not joined here to build any mobile application. I am here to build data pipelines. For that, we are choosing Python. So don't expect that we will teach everything in Python here. If that is expectations, this is not the right course for you. This course only focus on the Mount Everest. To reach the Mount Everest, what are the skills you need? That we are learning. How much ever Python is required, only that much you will be learning. But one guarantee I can give you is what knowledge you're going to gain here in the programming language will give you a very strong foundation, so that in future, if you want to learn any complex language, you can easily learn it. If you want to learn more in Python also, this course will be the right foundation for you. Okay, with this, let's see what is this Anaconda Python. We know Python now. Let's see what is this Anaconda Python. Now, Anaconda is a software that needs to be installed in your machine to work with your Python. Okay, so Anaconda is a software that needs to be installed in your machine to work. So let's see what is that, how it is installed. Okay, so let's focus on the installation. So as we know that Anaconda is like an environment provider where you can go and run all of your Python, and they will already have some libraries that they have it. You just need to make sure that you install this Anaconda and you start using it. It's a software. Anaconda is also a snake. Python is also snake. Okay, just because they have Anaconda, I mean, just because they have Python, they have also named as a software called Anaconda. Anaconda is, I think it's a family of a specific snake spices, I think. I don't know. But the same name they've kept for the software. The same name they've kept for the software. So if you want to install this, this is a site. Okay, to make your work easier, what I have done is I have actually created one document. This is like to install Anaconda. Just go and search Anaconda download. So please follow this instruction. This is a step-by-step process that we have created a document for you. Before coming to the next class, it is recommended that you install this software and come, because every class is going to be a practical class. No more PPTs. Every single class will be a practical class. So that is why we are installing on the day 2 itself. So here we will try to install Anaconda. In Anaconda, very easy. Simply go and search in the Google Anaconda download, and you will be able to get this. This is Anaconda software, and here you can choose it whether you want for Windows or if you want for Mac or you want for any other OS. You can choose here. So this is a get additional installers, but I will be installing for Windows. Just go here, click the download option here, and it will also download here. You would have seen here Anaconda. I have installed in 2022, but now if you install, you will get 2024 versions. That's fine. There is nothing much difference. They are actually adding few of the features, so you can always download. So mine is almost 600 MB, and that Anaconda file, you click it and you create any one folder and paste it here. The reason why I'm doing this is if I put in C drive, right, a lot of applications will be there in C drive, your systems will become slow. So that is why I'm creating one a folder in any of the other drives, and there I'm copying it, and very easy, double click it. Double click it, it will show next, click next. You have to agree the agreement, go and say I agree. Then you are the only person who's using your system, so just make it as just me. Next. It says that the required space is 3 GB, so make sure that your hard disk has minimum 3 GB and the RAM is also like around 8 GB. Go for next, go for install, and you give install. This will actually take some time. It is actually exporting all the libraries, so it will take some time, and it will happen. All these libraries will come into your Anaconda so that you can start using it. And finally, you will be able to see this. Next, give next. Very easy installation. And finally, it says that completing Anaconda, and you give finish. While you give the finish, it says that welcome to Anaconda. That's it. Okay, that's it. Now, once you have installed, this is your laptop. You go here and you go and search. So that will be coming as Anaconda Navigator. So there will be Anaconda Navigator. You can see that this is a navigator. This is a Anaconda Navigator. So this Anaconda Navigator would have got installed. Now, if you click this Anaconda Navigator, it will open like this. It will open like this. Once it is open, this is the first sheet you will see. This is the first sheet you will see. Okay, let's see that. Today is a Friday. So it's a good day to open our Anaconda prompt, and let's open this. After installation, you will be able to see this. See, it opened. Okay, it opened. So this is Anaconda. It has opened this. This is the same sheet you saw in the presentation as well. This is here, right? If you install this and next, all this is the PPTs that what we have given, and just give next. And finally, you will be able to see the completion. Okay, this is completed. And the moment you complete it, you will be able to see this. You'll be able to see this window, Anaconda Navigator. And in this Anaconda Navigator, there are a lot of supporting tools that you have. And you can click any of the supporting tools to write your code. This is all called editor. Like what you have, like a notepad plus, like this we have, right? All these are called editors. So with this editors, we can go and write the code. So this is the same window which I'm seeing here after installation. After installation, I'm seeing here. Okay, now for our particular data engineering, most of the time we will be using something called Jupyter Notebook. Okay, we'll be writing something called Jupyter Notebook. We can write the code in Spider. We can write the code in PyCharm. We can write the code in IBM Watson Studio. We can write the code in RStudio. Everywhere you want, you can write the code. But I would prefer to use Jupyter Notebook. I would prefer to use Jupyter Notebook because Jupyter Notebook are so friendly in nature, where in the real time, it will really help us to write the code effectively. And you know why I am preferring Jupyter Notebook? If you go and see here, I will choose to write the Python. Once you click here, this page will open, and just go and click the Python notebook. Like this is what the editor is like, and you can start writing the code here. You know why I prefer to write the code here? In your childhood days, you would have practiced your handwriting in 4 lines, ruled line, unruled book, everything. This is also something like similar to your double line notebook. So it looks so good. And the reason why we are using it is very much an open source, and you can have a good readability, code readability. As I said, data engineering, you have to write lot of logics. So it's always good that we use this Jupyter notebook for our editor. You can use any other editor also. For example, if you want to build a web application, if you want to build an enterprise application, in that case, I can go with Spider or I can go with PyCharm. But here I am here to do only as a computation, and I want to do some calculations. So that is why I would be going with Jupyter Notebook. Okay, so Jupyter Notebook is a editor that we will be using to write our code. So let's make it today itself. Today is a Friday. Obviously, Friday is a very good day to start with. Let's go and write our first code. The first code that we are going to write will be print open bracket. I'll write my first code. As I've told you, while writing in Python, you need not have all the supporting code. You can directly go and write one line. It will execute. And in order to execute, there is a run button here. You just click run button. Welcome to the world of coding. As simple as that, I have written my first code. Okay, I have written my first code. Correct? Now, I will go and take how to add two numbers. Okay, I'll go and take how to add two numbers. So let's see how to add two numbers. A equal to 5, B equal to 3, C equal to A plus B, print off. To just add two numbers, I have written 1, 2, 3, 4 lines I have written. Okay, I've written just 4 lines. This is very simple to add two numbers. A, I am assigning 5. B, I am assigning 3. C equal to A plus B, and print C. How many lines? 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. No semicolon. Okay, no brackets. Life is so easy. But let me go ask in our chat GPT. Let's go and ask our chat GPT the same question I'll ask. Can you add two numbers? Can you give me complete code in Java? How many lines? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Too
7,
many lines.
8, 9, 10, 11. Along with 11, 1 bracket, 2 brackets, 3 brackets, 4 brackets. 4 brackets I've closed. 10 lines. 10 lines for simply adding a two numbers in Java. Along with that, brackets, everything I have to write. You don't believe me? You ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT will tell you to add two numbers, how much of code you have to write. Can you give me in Python? 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're asking the input from the user, but here I have taken the input directly. So both are same. Just 4 lines. 4 lines I'm able to write some logic. Python is giving me 10, Java is giving me 10 lines. Why will I go here? And remember, data engineering is one of the complex ever transformation that we have to do. Why will I go and write it in 100 lines and 200 lines? I can write it in Python. No. Is that clear? Yes?
Yes, Santosh.
Yes.
Okay. You want more proof why Python is used, or you're satisfied? You're satisfied? A simple example I've shown you, adding two numbers itself I've shown you. Are you satisfied, or you still need more reasons why we need to use Python? Yes? You need more reasons, or this is good?
It's good.
Now, with this Python, we are going to build our data engineering projects. Okay. So just I wanted to show you one thing. Give me a minute. We talked about data engineering, how to handle the capacity of the data. If suddenly data comes in a very huge manner, how will I handle it? Right? So if you're thinking like, oh, it's going to be very difficult, it's going to be very difficult. Okay, nothing to worry. You have one of the best ever programming language with you, Python. With the Python, you can do lot of data processing. So we were worrying yesterday. Suddenly, if data comes in huge, suddenly if someone is sending so much of data, who will do all the data cleaning, data transformations? Well, you are the person who's going to do, but you're not going to learn. You have like a what do you call that? bow and arrow, like what Arjuna was having, right? The same thing you have, that is nothing but your Python. So Python is your pillar now. With the Python, we can do wonders. Okay, so with that, I would like to tell you that we have started using Python. Before coming to the next class, I want each and every one to install this. The document will be shared to you, each one of you. Very easy software. Simply, if you go and browse Anaconda download, you will be able to get it. Only 4-5 steps. Next, 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 next. In the 2 minutes, you should be able to install it. And once you install this, Anaconda will be installed in your machine, and you just go with Anaconda Navigator and choose the editor which you are going to use. We are going to use Jupyter Notebook. There are a lot of other editors, but for our purpose, what we need, that is what we will be learning. So before coming to the next class, will you all install this and come?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Any questions? End of theory, end of PPTs. Rest of the classes, we have 23 hours left in Python. We have 18 classes left in Python. All the 18 classes, never expect that I'll open PPTs. All done. Directly, I'll open the Jupyter Notebook. Every single day, I'll open a Jupyter Notebook and we will practice. Is that clear? Any questions?
No. No from my end, Santosh.
Okay. So with that, we'll stop here. So this is an introduction to Python and installation of Jupyter Notebook. That is nothing but Anaconda. So please install before coming to the next class. Your next class will be on Monday, which will be the third free class. Okay. Thank you all.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
So can you please share the trigger script which we have learned 2 days back?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, Santosh, where can we get those SQL recordings?
Recordings, you should be able to get it in the same course. So please reach out to our team. I mean, for if you're joined as a new person, then you have to register to get the access. Once you get registered, you will have all the access to your course. And apart from that, you will also be allowed to attend any SQL sessions in future. So that's a privilege that you will get if you're registering it. If you're an old student, you should be able to get it in the class recordings.
Okay.
Any questions? Are we good?
How can we get the document, Santosh, to install the Python?
Wherever you got this meeting invite today, right? In the same group, we'll be circulating this. It's just a hardly 4-5 steps. You can install it in Google, but I'll be sharing the document as well.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, Santosh.
Yes.
What you are covering as a PySpark and DataBricks?
PySpark will be covering right from the installation, like how we can configure the Spark. With that Spark, we'll be learning PySpark. PySpark will be doing one project. PySpark will be doing all of the optimizations. We'll be using broadcast joins, broadcast variables, cache, persist, memory. All this will be working, and the same we will replicate in the Databricks. So Databricks and PySpark itself, if I want to count it, I can say it's almost like 15 hours.
Okay, end to end, in
End to
depth.
end.
Okay, okay, nice. Thank you. And in Azure, what we are service covering?
Azure total of 12 services: Azure Block Storage, Azure Data Lake Storage, Azure SQL Database, Azure Data Factory, Azure Synapses, Azure Databricks, Azure Key Vault, Azure Streaming Analytics, Azure IoT. Another one. Yeah, almost like 10 to 12.
Okay. Thank you. Fine, nice.
Any other questions?
When will we get the project and assignments at the end? No?
I mean, it's just we have started to write our Python code, right? Like slowly, day by day, you will get some task. You'll be asked to explore few things. We'll be giving some assignments. So you'll be working on. It will happen over the next after next week. There is a person called MA5409. He has not given the name. My aim is to join data engineering team. Being from a non-tech background, how feasible it is. So to join data engineering team, or if you want to go for a data engineering role, the first thing is you should understand the background. Why is this role important, right? In yesterday's session, you would have really got to know that why this role is important. What is we are doing it? We are like a backstage people. Maybe we may not be called out in front, but we know what we are doing in the background. Without us, it is highly difficult, correct? But what we are doing, you have to know first. And for doing this, what are the skills you need to have that you have to know? That is where we are learning SQL, Python, PySpark. This three becomes like a three pillars in building your data engineering. I'll be very open to you. Okay, I don't want to hide anything here. I have taught almost 8 to 9 technologies in my teaching career. There is no other subject which is tougher than data engineering. I'll be very open. There is no other technology which is tougher than data engineering. I'll also tell you one more fact. There is no other role than data engineering which pays you the highest ever package. We have a record of people getting even 40-45 lakhs of package for just under 10 years. We have a record. So if you want to get a highest package, you have to struggle. If you want to master just one line mantra, what I'm teaching you, practice on the same day. If you can do this for next 90 days, you will have a very sharp career. Data engineering, data science, data analytics, all this data driven technologies will never ever fall down because the growth of the data is like that. So if you're thinking, is this a right choice for me? Definitely yes. And I'm considering that you will have to put efforts. I am here to help you only 50%. 50% has to come from you. You have to sit, you have to practice, you have to do the coding. I cannot come and code behalf of you. I'm here somewhere around, I don't know where you are, but I am in Bangalore. We are like distance apart. I'm teaching you, that's it. What is required from you is efforts. Everyday practice, every day attending the class. If you do these two things, even you can become a NASA scientist. What is there in data engineer here? Nothing, right? All you need is efforts, practice. Anyone can become a data engineer, but as I said, it's tough, not that easy. And you know that nothing comes easy, so you have to put your efforts. Next, any question? Are we good? Okay. Thank you all. We'll meet on
Thank
Monday.
you.